Have you had a coach for your small business before? Because today I'm going to dive into the nitty gritty, the beautiful, and the ugly side of coaching for small businesses. Now, as you know, if you've been watching or listening for a little while, I do not like the term small business owner. I'm going to say that off the bat right now, because to me, if you identify as a small business owner, that encourages you to think small. And I don't think small round here, babes. So we are thinking big. And that's why I dropped the small business owner. However, if you are new to the podcast, new to the No Rest for the Vivid business podcast, then identifying as small business owner, you probably already do that. So I'm going to open up and talk about small business a little bit more. And then once you come into my world, we drop the small. Well, I realized that as a business coach, self-belief and business coach, haven't actually spoken about what coaching is. Like, what is it about coaching that is going to support your business to grow? And so I thought I'm going to do a podcast episode all about it, but share the ugly side to coaching as well as the good reasons, so that if you've ever thought about hiring a business coach or any kind of coach, you get to see the full picture. Because unless you've actually tried out and invested in a coach, you may not know. So I'm going to run through a list of 4 cons and 4 pros. So the negative side first and the positive side to coaching, so that you get the full picture. And with all of my podcasts, I've been prepared and I have notes in front of me. So if you're watching, you're going to see me glance down a little bit. And I just need to mention 2 things before we go forward. Number one, thank you for the follows. Thank you for the watches. Thank you for the listens. This podcast is growing very quickly. We're very excited. But if you do have just fallen upon this podcast, then go and hit the like, subscribe, follow button wherever you're watching it or listening to it, because it makes such a difference. Every single one of you that follows, we watch that and we give you a high five into the universe, and hopefully you get it back too. The other thing is, if you can see, if you're watching, I have my lovely dog here. Now, if I say her name, she's going to wake up. We don't want her to wake up because then she's going to be a pain in the bum while I'm recording the podcast. So I'm being quite risque right now. So anyway, let's crack on. So in the next 10 minutes, I am going to run through the pros and cons of coaching for small businesses. And I'm really being specific now. As you identify as a small business owner, technically, if it's just you, you're a micro business. But the term small business owner is generally used for anybody that's a solo entrepreneur or anybody that has a small team. So I am technically a micro business because it's me and 2 other people. But, you know, I like to, I'm just a business owner, for goodness sake. I'm a CEO with big dreams. So I don't like to limit myself with that terminology. But the reason why I wanted to focus on coaching is because, as I am a coach, like, I think coaching is pretty epic. But there are some things that I really want you to take heed of. And this is where I'm going to share a little bit of the ugly side. Now, I have had epic coaches and I have had shit coaches. And so I'm in a really good place. I think the best thing from being a coach is that when you get a shit coach, you know what not to do. I would define myself as a really good coach. I've never had any complaints or anything like that, touch wood. But I really care about the results of my clients, and everything that I'm going to talk about with the cons. Anybody, if you're a client of mine, or if you're inside the Vivid Business Club, which is my membership, which gives coaching to small business owners, because you don't have to have a one-to-one coach to get coaching. I'll talk a little bit about that at the end, but that coaching world, you'll find that if you're in my world, I don't do these things. So number one, every single coach, even if you come across them, they are not going to be the right fit always. And I think you're probably clever enough to know that anyway. But this is about knowing in your gut, when you come across a coach, who is right for you at that time in your business. It's okay to only have a coach for a little season and then want to explore other coaches. Like, I'm not going to be the right coach for somebody forever. I progress quite quickly, but sometimes you just want a little bit of a difference, another perspective, another set of skills, and that's absolutely okay. But when you find a coach, that a coach might have the best results, have the best testimonials, promise you all of these high figure months, but actually they just give you the ick and they're not the right for you. So make sure that if you are going to choose to invest in a coach, that they feel good. Like you want to feel really good about a coach, that you like want to be mates with them and you'd go and have a drink or go and have a little rave with them or a dance or have a really lovely cup of coffee and get into a really wonderful conversation. That's the kind of relationship that you get with a coach. But remember, you're not getting a friend. Though I always say, like, people don't pay me to be their friend. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear all the time. I'm going to tell you what the intentions are. When you hire me, your intention might be to go in a certain direction or gain confidence. And sometimes you need to hear a little something spicy in order to make the progress forward. Whereas a friend might just fluff you up and be like, oh, it's okay. I'm really brave at what I say. So just saying that you want to find somebody that you love spending time with, that is really supportive, you really feel safe around, that's nurturing you, but you're not going to find that in every single coach. So even if they've got the best qualifications and the best experience, they still might not be the right fit. Number two, a con of coaching right now in the business world or in the Instagram world is always talking about money. Money, 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 money. And I actually did a little bit of work on my content and where I'm positioning myself because I'm in a reflective stage of the business. And I thought, well, I'm just going to have a look at where are there some client testimonials or client stories with my competitors and how have they told the stories about their clients. Now, this is something I'm really working on. I am working on sharing the stories of my clients and how that, like, the results they have and the impact I make on their lives, because I recognize, like, if you're walking down the street and you are looking for somewhere to eat, you are going to be attracted to the restaurant with people sitting in the window, like sitting in the restaurant, and you can see that they're having a good time. That is what a client testimony is all about, like sharing the stories of what impact your product's being made or service. So for me, I've not been sharing that enough. So I'm working on it. So I thought I'd do a bit of homework and see what other people in my industry do. And it was all about money. It was all about, I got my client from 5K to 16K a month. I got my client from 20K to 30K a month, or I got my client from 5K to 10K, or whatever the figure. And I really have the ick with that. Now I have tried, I've done a podcast episode about that transition that I went from talking a little bit about money to never again, because when like my a client that I've recently spoken about, she came to me like she's making loads of money, but it was about, and another client, actually, people come to me that they're already really making the money, but it's about refining their business, making it much tidier so they're not weighed down by the heaviness of it. Because when we create business, it's about not creating another job for us. It's about creating a legacy and a message and something that we get excited about doing. And if that's not there, that's when your business is going to get heavy. And that's when money, you could be earning loads of money, but if you're not happy while you're earning it, who gives a shit? So I think that a real negative of the coaching world right now is always talking about money instead of the goals, like the energy goals, the refinement of time, looking at how you're going to scale the culture within your organization, the culture in your team, how you direct your messaging about who you are, raising your personal brand, looking at your life, like making sure that your business works for your life, not the other way around. So just that's a big negative at the moment that's really making me icky. Right. Number three, there is a tendency sometimes, if you don't work with the right coach, and even when I try, it's still something that you can fall into. It's not a big deal. I wouldn't say it's like a deal breaker, but you can become quite dependent on the external validation of having a cheerleader in your pocket. And it's, I really try to focus on, for my clients, really amplifying that internal validation, that voice inside of you, your self-belief. That's a massive focus of the work I do with my clients, linked up to warrior energy, their mindset, who they are, stepping into their most vivid self. But it's very easy sometimes to want to reach out to your client. And I found a couple of times being a bit difficult, because I know that I want my clients to be like, okay, I can do this. I can do this on my own. But also my clients have paid me a lot of money. And so I want to deliver a service, and I don't want to hold back from delivering on that service. But also it's really important that I'm empowering them at every level. So it's just something to be aware of, that if you are seeking that validation, you have to be like, can I do this on my own? It's gonna take me a while. Okay, I can do it quicker if I speak to my coach. How can I do that more quickly next time? And learning every single time that your coach is interacting with you, how did they support you to get out of that stickiness more quickly, and how can you do it for yourself next time? So that's another thing. I've just got to pause there, and I've got to pause. My hair is really stressing me out. I'm trying this look. Sorry, I'm sorry for everyone that's here. Sometimes I go off on a tangent. I've really got to go off on a tangent because I'm really conscious. I keep looking at myself on the screen. My roots need doing. I've got this new thing where I'm trying to wear my hair up a little bit more because I'm thinking about cutting my hair off. I don't know. I don't know if I'll do it, but this is just a real life of podcasting, because I really don't like my look today. But done is better than perfect. You've got to stick to the plan, not the mood. And so I've got to record these podcasts. And do you know what, as well? I was really excited about recording today. So if you see me fiddling, I'm a human being. I'm just the same as everybody else. I'm just the queen of unstoppable belief. Okay. Last con before I get on to the best side of coaching. Sometimes and I used to do this, like I was like the queen of this, and now I really hold back. Sometimes I used to get so excited that I would overwhelm my clients with all the brilliant ideas. You may feel in a session really overwhelmed in that moment, especially if you've got like an hour one-to-one with your coach and you're only meeting them every month, and you're like, right, blah, 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 and it's just going like fire, like between you, and it's getting really, really exciting. And afterwards you're like, oh, that was a bit overwhelming. Oh my God, I don't know where to start. Now, what the bonus of if you become a client of mine is that I have AI record all of the notes from every single meeting that we have, as well as have a as a recording, so you can watch it back if you feel less overwhelmed. And usually, especially if you do the 111-day power up, you get an action plan. So that action plan is really, really good at making you feel like, right, okay, that was really overwhelming, but now all of my goal is broken down into daily action. So I've got it, like I try and support you to be as effective as possible. But you might find if you're picking a coach that's not too aware of that, it can feel very overwhelming, very, 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 very overwhelming. So just something to think about. Now, as I am a self-believing business coach, I would now like to run through with you the reasons why having a coach in your back pocket is one of the best investments that you can ever do in your entire life, for your life and your business. Now, on the preset, like I work with businesses because I work with small business owners because I really believe that your life is just as important, was more important than your business. But if you get your life good and your energy good and you step into the most vivid version of yourself, and then what I mean by most vivid version is you are unapologetically who you are, who you want to be. You wear what you want. You've got that confidence. You say what you want. You do what you want. There's no fear. If there is fear, you can move with it. That is being your most vivid self. Once you get there, business is easy. Like, it's so easy when you've got the confidence to do what you love to do. So that's the way I run. So even though that's why I'm a self-belief and business coach, because I support you to believe in all of your business dreams and I help you to get there as well. I help you block whatever's in the way of you getting there. So here are my favorite positives about coaching. Number one, a coach can help you zoom out of your business because you are like right up against it. I heard an amazing phrase this morning. If you looking at your business as it on your own, like looking at your own business is like looking at a label from inside the jar. Like you can't zoom out enough. You can't see all of the problems. I know, like my coach recently, he really called me out on something that I do feel potentially I was hiding a little bit, but actually what it did was he called me out on it, and then I thought about it. I thought, no, he's right. And I get to do what I was already doing too. Like I can do both things. And then having that strategy and the implementation of that income stream that's coming into the business, thinking, no, I can do all of that. But if my coach hadn't challenged me on that, I would have been missing a trick because he could zoom out and see. And that follows on really quickly into number two, because having someone in your corner that can see your magic and feel your magic before you can, or it might be like I work with people that know they're made for more. They know they're made for more. They're ready to claim it, but they're not quite sure how. Like you've got that feeling like, yeah, I think my dreams might come true. I just need to get out of my own way. If you're my dream client. That's the kind of person I work with. Someone with a warrior spirit, been through the mill, usually had experienced some kind of pain. And so you turn that pain into power. That's the kind of people I love to work with. And that's who I'm really suited to work with as well. But having someone in your corner. So when I am like, you're amazing, and I can pep you up and make you see that goal too, that is phenomenal because it just fires you up. It fires up the furnace that's already there and makes your self-belief even louder. The third reason why having a coach is amazing, especially if you came on to my 111-day power up, I am holding you accountable. You have a daily action plan. Every single day, there is something there for you to do so that you are moving towards your goals. And I think that when you're in employment, you have a boss and it's very easy to stay accountable because you know someone's watching. And then all of a sudden you're self-employed and you're like, no one's watching, I can get away with it. And then you worry why you wonder why your goals aren't where they are, or you haven't achieved what you hoped to achieve and you thought it would be quicker. This is why, because having somebody in your corner checking in on you, like I messaged a client this morning and I said to him, that content, like we're working on his confidence that's showing up and being more present on LinkedIn. I was like, have you posted this week? And he's like, no. Okay, right. Go on then. And I just reminded him, done is better than perfect. So it's really cool to have that power in your pocket to support you to get out of your own way. And the last good thing, I mean, to be fair, I had to make it equal and have 4 negatives and 4 positives. I think coaching is one of the best things you can do for yourself and your business. Like the impact it has is incredible, but boosting your confidence and seeing who you really can be, and that self-belief. There's so much content always. Like, all you have to do is believe in yourself. How do you believe in yourself? Sometimes you can hear that voice, but it's just not loud enough to battle down the doubts, and it can be so debilitating in what you want to achieve. Somebody else I was talking to this morning, they haven't been posting on their social media, and I'd done a piece of content about it, and she said, um you were right. Like you blink and it's another week that you haven't posted. I just can't get out of that trap. That's down to mindset. That's not a strategy. I can teach you fantastic business strategy. And that's why I'm a business coach as well as self-belief. But mindset is 80% of the issue. And sometimes you just cannot get yourself out of those mindset traps, those moments where doubt is drowning you quick enough. And so it becomes a big spiral. Then it goes into weeks and days where you haven't achieved anything and you deserve better than that. And that's why coaching is so important. And this is why, the sole reason why I created the Vivid Business Club, because the Vivid Business Club is not just your usual business membership. This is a powerful place where you get access to business coaching for your small business, mindset coaching as well. You actually get time with me, one-to-one. You can get that impact call, you get group coaching in a hot seat environment in the Business Boost. You get access to that at £77 a month. Now, if you think about that, my biggest program at the moment is £5,500, and then I have one that's just under £1,700. But you can get access to me plus a shed load of training where I guide you through those things that are going to grow your business as well as your mindset for £77 a month. So if you want to dabble, if you want to have a little try at some coaching for your small business, I would really encourage you to come and give the Vivid Business Club a try. Come in, meet the gang. We've got a beautiful community as well as a beautiful hub with all the resources. But the best thing is that if you are not alone anymore, you get access to me as a business coach, as a self-belief coach that can help you to untangle those knots of doubt that you have that are stopping you from being the most magic version of yourself. What have you got to lose? Right. If you haven't already subscribed and followed, please go do that. But for everybody who already has subscribed and followed, I've just sent you a magic golden hug in through the ether of the universe. Look after yourself, sending you loads of warrior energy. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to the No Rest for the Vivid podcast. Written, produced and hosted by Claire Hill, and music has been composed by my brother, Phil Vick.